It's the book of Psalms, chapter 73. I'm going to start at verse 1, and it reads, a psalm of Asaph. Truly, Yahweh is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. Verse 3, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their deaths, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Verse 6, therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness, they have more than heart could wish. Verse 8, they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression, they speak lawfully. Verse 9, they set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. I'm going to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Kohaloyim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakados Bukatah. Double honors to my apostles, the elders, a great millstone who teach and do real well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat, as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad and in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. It's the brother Yah, what's up, out of the GMS Cleveland Church and fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit, through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai. And basically, this lesson is in regards to an article I seen about Trump. That that damn devil. This is the second time I'm doing this lesson, by the way. I don't even see how this happened. I did the lesson, I end up hitting the button, and I thought maybe it'd have been saved, but it's deleted from the whole phone. You know what I mean? And it's a way for you to go back and get your videos or whatever you throw in the trash. It's a way to recover that before it's completely destroyed. And it wasn't even in there, so that was spiritual in itself. You know what I mean? These demons, everything ain't Satan, but some of it is though. You know what I mean? But anyhow, so I take that as a lesson that the Lord wants this to come out, because right now we got the Salakia, the Most High Yahweh Shem Shai has Esau, Edom under the scope, being scoped out. He every eye's on this man, this devil. Especially with this situation with Kanye and or Yee, whatever the hell it is, bugged out as individual. But he might not even be bugged out. At the end of the day, like the elders were saying, even if this ain't orchestrated by Esau Edom, the Most High is using this man because it's ultimately orchestrated by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So I brought out that Psalms chapter 73 because these people are corrupt, and it isn't surprising that Trump is in the media right now with all the different things that they saying that this man has been involved in. From the January 6th thing to they said it was corruption going on in the White House between him and his administration. Which was majority of his family. You know what I mean? And when the last lesson I had made mention of when I was in high school, one of my teachers basically had us watch this movie called The Distinguished Gentleman with Eddie Murphy. And this is an Eddie Murphy film, and I'll never forget it because it caught my attention, because most teachers wouldn't allow an Eddie Murphy film to be filmed or Salaki be played in school, but because of the fact that she was like, it was a good movie, and especially due to the fact that whoever wrote it from the standpoint of how politics really work. And the premise of the movie was basically, Eddie Murphy was a con man, and he had a crew of grifters that worked with him, and he just so happened to have the same name as a politician that was in office that had died. So when he found out that basically he could run, for the office, and because of his name being similar to that guy, or they having the same name, basically, and most people don't even know anything about the candidate they are choosing. They usually doing it out of tradition. He was able to get into that political office, and he took his whole cabinet with him, and he realized that basically these politicians are bought and paid for. And that was the premise of the movie. So, of course this man is corrupt, again, but he doesn't look at corruption the way you look at it. Scriptures talk about who can make straight who the Most High made crook. You know, I mean, the scriptures talk about this man be born speaking lies. So, I mean, this devil, matter of fact, I'm going to get that. This is book of Psalms, chapter 58 and verse 3. It reads, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So, this devil was, created to be a deceiver. You know what I mean? When you go into the book of, what's that, Job chapter 9 and verse 24. This is the book of Job chapter 9 verse 24, and it reads, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? If not, where and who is he? And that's a rhetorical question. It's asking a question. If it ain't this individual, who is it? You know what I mean? This devil literally changed the face of the judges of the world, the Most High, Yahweh, and our Lord and Savior, our big brother, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, who you people ignorantly call Jesus Christ. They put, it clearly tells you in the scriptures that he had, a face of bronze, and, which, let me get it, because I'm butchering it. Salakia, I'm going to get into the article. I just want to prove a point. This is book of Revelation chapter 1 verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they were burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So that is, if you go into the color of brass, it's matter of fact, I through the spirit watch. Okay, so the brother from Holland, this is his channel, GMS Holland, the Great Gathering 144, through the spirit put this up. This is a Jake, complexion, his melatonin, his appearance, his color, his appearance, his complexion, and this is brass. So brass burnt in a coal or an oven is a darker brown. I used to do welding, so when you're dealing with metal like copper and whatnot, when you heat copper, it gets darker. When you heat brass, it gets darker. You know what I mean? So point of all that was to say that literally, this devil has lied about the appearance of, who the Most High is, what color he was, all that. It tells you in the book of Maccabees that he basically sought to paint his image. I gotta go get that now. Bear with me for a second. This is the book of First Maccabees chapter 3 verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their image. So they went into the book of the law, which is the book of the law, is the scriptures, the Holy Bible, our book about our laws, statutes, and commandments, and our heritage, and our history. That these devils try to hide from us because they know that without our power, we are lost as a nation. Without, it also tells you in the book of Judith that if, that's why this devil he seeks to keep so much division going between all the tribes. You got, the Northern Kingdom fighting against Northern Kingdom. Like I remember I was locked up, and you got so-called Puerto Ricans, which are the tribe of Ephraim, that basically hate and can't stand, so-called Mexicans, which is the tribe of Issachar, although they the same people. When you go into the Haitians and the Dominicans, basically they stay on the same plot of land, but because of the fact that they're divided, by an imaginary line at that, showing you that, but also it's the will of the Lord, because it tells you the vision is of the Lord. When you go into the book of Luke and Matthew, but Salakia, not to digress. So with all that being said, this man, which is the devil, when you go into the word devil, which is diablos in the Latin, is basically a deceiver. You know what I mean? Which again, I read what was that? Psalms 58. This devil being born, he's estranged from the womb, basically being born speaking lies. When you go into multitude of scriptures, it goes into that, the book of Psalms chapter 55 and verse 21. I'm gonna start at verse 20. He that, Salaki, verse 20, he have put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He have broken his covenant. Now, who does that make you think of? When you go into the history of the North American Indians who are of the tribe of Gad, you know, and, you know, the Seminole Indians, which are of the tribe of Reuben, you know, you'll come to find out, you know, they made many of a peace treaties with these Indians and broke every one of them, you know. When you go into the fact of, you know, the history of Gad and how Gad was one of the warrior tribes of Israel, and then the fact of how Gad basically, just the prophecy of his name, Gad, a troop, but a troop shall overcome them. And who was they overcome by? You know, this Edomite and the U.S. cavalry, you know. But at one point, Gad was, you know, getting off in their ass until the Most High put it in Esau's spirit to create that Gatling gun. When you go into the history of Geronimo, you know, Geronimo was a great warrior. You know, that ain't just for fake, or, you know, that ain't just make believe. Geronimo actually existed to the point where these devils literally stole his skull, and his family still fight for the remains of his skull. You know, and that shit go back to these wicked ass bushes and all that. You know, the skull and bones, that secret society that basically has to do with, you know, it's you know, what I mean, like this place. You know, when you go into the fact of, you know, Esau Edom literally naming, you know, certain military weapons after, different things of Gad, you know, from the Apache, the Apache helicopter to the Tomahawk cruise missile, you know, because Gad was actually a warrior tribe, you know. But, and it also says in that prophecy, a troop shall overcome them, but at the end they shall overcome that troop. Roughly paraphrased, you know. Verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So this devil has the power to deceive, you know. He, that's why I think Gad used to basically had a saying that the Esau speak with a double forked tongue, roughly paraphrased. And then you go into they double talk with these secret societies, you know. They do these rituals on TV and speak, they may be saying one thing, but it has a different meaning to those that's on the inside, the initiated, you know, like Bane said, you know. But the thing is, you have a right hand initiated too, you know. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is elect. And we pray that we're of the hopeful elect. So I'm gonna get a little bit of this article, because at the end of the day, you know what I mean, like, you know, this devil, you know, you gotta remember this DJ Trump, you know what I mean. You go into his administration, all these, basically they saying, you know, like I said, his name is really in the media right now because they saying that he excited that riot on January 6th. And when you really look at the video of it, what he was telling them, you don't think he did that? You know what I mean? Like, God. You know, it's clear as day, like they try to say Kanye with the statements he made. When you watch that speech that he did, what did he tell them? We have to take this place back before it becomes a third world country. You know what I mean? Come on. So he did incite. He put that in the people's spirit. Now, how orchestrated it was, because you got to remember, Esau Edom does a lot of psyops. You know what I mean? You know, when you go into the shit that you see on TV, you thinking certain, massacres and certain things happen, and come to find out to be paid actors, and you go into crowds on demand and all. You know, you got companies that was basically paying for people to show up to some of these motherfucking protests and all that. You know what I mean? This place is really stranger than fiction. So it reads, how a conviction in Trump's organization or org's upcoming trial could bar Trump from federal contracts even for Secret Service. And it reads, jury selection began Monday in the Trump organization's tax fraud trial. Trump could be banned from doing business with the federal government if his company is convicted. A ban could end his exuberant billing of the Secret Service agents who protect him at his resorts. And, you know, that's probably a win-win, because you got, you know, like when you got police officers and certain police officers that are moonlight and get paid Like when I was homeless, I remember I used to eat at this particular church, this Catholic church, and every Monday they would have the sheriffs that would come out there. It'd be like 6 sheriffs to keep down, people from fighting or whatnot. That's how much money this church had. Whoever was coming to feed, it might have not even been the church. It might have been a different organization that was coming to feed, but they would pay those sheriffs to come in there because, when you're dealing with the homeless and you got niggas, what I mean? That homeless world is a totally different world because, you thinking people just fucked up, but everybody that's homeless ain't fucked up. You have Jake that actually be in the streets moving amongst some homeless because a homeless motherfucker get a check sometimes. And just for whatever reason, maybe mental issues, them demons on or whatever, they'll be living outside, or habits, that demon on them, whatever drug habit they got, that demon. So it says Donald Trump's real estate and golf resort empire goes on trial in Manhattan on Monday in a low-level corporate fraud case with high financial stakes, including millions in potential fines and tax penalties. But there's another threatening cost, and it's something government spending watchdogs have been urging for years. Conviction could prompt the government to bar the Trump organization from doing business as a federal contractor, including cutting off the spigot of Trump's lucrative and critics say exuberant billing of Secret Service agents who stay at his properties while protecting the former president and his family. So even though he's no longer the president, he's still got Secret Service literally watching over his property, watching over him. This man juiced in all completely. And then when you go into his family, how much money he made off of Jake, this man, his father, did a lot of work in New York City, helped build a lot of them projects and shit like that. Like I said, at the end of the day, these devils have always made their money off the backs of Jake. It's a book called How Did White Folks Get So Rich? And that literally shows the blueprint. I mean, these motherfuckers have made programs that supposed to be targeted for Jake to benefit from, and then they find some kind of loophole where they benefit from it. Facts. Trump is hardly the ideal government contractor as it is, watchdogs say, after his many brushes with fraud allegations and given federal regulations requiring an requiring an impeccable standard of conduct. You got to understand, this man is a billionaire, but then he pays less taxes than some people that, they only worth 100,000 or making an income of 100,000 because it's all kind of loopholes in this fucked up ass system. You know what I mean? Those regulations also recommend debarment or blacklisting or of any company convicted of such business-related crimes as forgery, bribery, falsification of destruction of records, making false statements, and tax evasion. A conviction in this payroll tax fraud trial will only increase cause to blacklist Trump, according to Steve Schooner, who teaches government procurement law at George Washington University Law School. It says Schooner has complained stridently over the years as the feds continue to do business with Trump, despite 2 impeachments and an inauguration scandal, question over his Trump International Hotel in D.C., and the forced dissolution of Trump University and the Trump Foundation by the same New York Attorney General office, by the same New York Attorney General's office now alleging he pocketed $250 million through financial fraud. So, I mean, and you're supposed to be innocent to proven guilty, but these devils, again, Psalms 58:8, these devils are born estranged, speaking lies. You know what I mean? The scriptures talk about who can make straight what the Most High made crook. So at the end of the day, these devils were set up to be the wicked. I think it's Psalms chapter 50. Matter of fact, let me get that. Salakia. Call Loyim Layah Bashim Yal Shabashim. Rachakadas with that. Call Loyim Layah Bashim Yal Shabashim. Rachakadas with that. Call Loyim Layah Bashim Yal Shabashim. Rachakadas with that. The Wadiyah Bashim Yal Shabashim. Rachakadas with that. This is Psalm chapter 50, verse 16. But unto the wicked, Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction and cast my words behind thee. It says, when thou sawest a thief, then thou consented with him, and has been partaker with adulterers. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frame of deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thy own mother's son. And when you go into that, who is the slanderer? The accuser? Satan. And whose physical counterpart is Satan? Esau, Edom. You know, it tells you in the book of 2 Thessalonians that there's a man on the physical plane that will come to do the bidding of Yahweh, Slakia. Well, yeah, God, because, you know, at the end of the day, both the righteous and the wicked both work in unison for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. It's all orchestrated by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. But it tells you in scripture in the book of 2 Thessalonians that it's a man set up to do the bidding of Satan on the earth. You know, who is, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, when you understand scriptures, Esau, Edom, and Jacob were twin brothers, you know. So at the end of the day, this so-called white man is our wicked twin brother. And that's why you have enmity between the so-called black and the so-called white man. Let me get some, this is the book of, you know, and then you got to go into the nation of the people. Like when you go and really, these are the same devils. Look how they got this country by rape, robbery, and murder. Matter of fact, you know, let me get that because in the book of John, chapter 10, it talks about that. It says, Satan come to steal, kill, and destroy. It's the book of John, chapter 10, verse 10, and it reads, the thief cometh not but to, Salaki, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. And who is that? You know, you Israelites. You know, it talks about in the scriptures that these words are living water. You know what I mean? But, you know, 2/3 of our people want to, you know, follow after the ways of Esau, Edom. And, you know, and all his ways are the ways of death. It tells you, you know, basically he's the son of perdition. When you go into that word perdition, is the son of destruction. When you go into what this man has actually forwarded in the earth, it's been death and destruction. When you go into the founding of America, basically America was founded in what, 1776? They say when you go into basically how long America's been founded as a nation, and it's been at war for like all those years that's been a nation, except for like 20 years. And I don't feel like looking it up, but I put you to the test and have you look it up. If the nation has been at more war than it's been as a nation, majority of its time as a nation has been at war, this is a warlike nation. This is a son of destruction for real. These people are you know what I mean? Like anything that they created that was beneficial, they didn't create. When you go into actually who created the internet, that was a Jake. I forgot the guy's name. You know what I mean? I got a book. I got to probably go back in my other phone. But, you know, when you go into all the major accomplishments that actually make America so-called great, it was made by Jakes. You know what I mean? Like literally everything that's some bullshit or whatnot was made by Esau, Edom. You know what I mean? Like literally, you know, the cotton gin and all the, you know what I mean? There's traffic light. You know what I mean? The broom, all these different things. And a lot of the things that Jake came up with was to make his labor easier. And, you know, when you go into what all Jake made, we shouldn't even be fucked up as a people. That's how you got to understand this is a spiritual thing. With all that we have done to make the society great, why are we at the bottom? Because it's spiritual. I was going to bring out that Ecclesiasticus, but it's 23 minutes. I didn't mean to go that long. It tells you in the book of Malachi chapter 1 that it's a nation of people that are wicked. You know what I mean? It tells you in the book of Job chapter 9 and verse 24, the wicked, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And you got people that's wicked on the earth. You got 2/3 of our people that are wicked, but it's a nation of people that are wicked. This is the book of Malachi chapter 1 and verse 1. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. When you go into that word burden, it basically breaks down the prophecy. Verse 2, I have loved you, saith the Lord Yahweh, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? So basically, Most High Yahweh loves us, but you know, you got Jake that question like, well, look at what you've done to us. How do you love us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? So that go back to that Psalms 50, you know, slandering thy mother's son. You know, was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord Yahweh, yet I love Jacob. So that's showing you that the Lord loves and hates right here. You know, you got these wacky tacky Christians and these goofy ass people that don't even take time to read the scriptures. It tells you that literally, you know, look, God loves everybody. He hate the sin and not the person. It tells you that Most High God loved Jacob and hated Esau. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Verse 4, the point. Whereas Edom saith, which Edom is a landmass, but Edom was a people. That's why it tells you in the scriptures that Esau's name was changed to Edom. Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we, just like how Israel name was Jacob was changed to Israel, which was a people, even though it became a landmass. But you know, you got Israel is a people before it's a place. That's why the Israelites are still here, just like the Edomites are. Salakia, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they will call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh hath indignation forever. So it says the border of wickedness. So these people are the wicked, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. Esau, Edom, the Edomites are the only people in the Bible that are not granted mercy. You know, they're not going to be allowed to repent or anything. It talks about in the book of Romans that they are the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction. You know, when you go in the book of Obadiah, it talks about their destruction will be basically the Lord is going to burn their ass all the way up. You know what I mean? They're going to suffer for 1,000 years until the Lord going to create a big ass bonfire and burn, they going to be burnt up, Now those spirits are going to still exist because, it's a balance. It tells you in the book of Proverbs chapter 11 that the Most High, a false balance is an abomination to the Lord. So when people say that the Most High is always good, that's a false balance. Nothing is all good. You are not all good. You got wicked ass individuals that have did some horrendous shit that you can't even fathom or imagine, but might not be considered wicked to somebody else. I know dudes that have done some horrendous shit, but yet still somebody, if they just was what street niggas are called a good nigga to this, you know what I mean? You got Jake is so fucked up and lost and confused as a people. Like I said, Jacob spent his whole life serving a block. Not even, you know what I mean? Like you ain't even serving a person. You claiming a block. Motherfuckers getting killed off of probably an Edomite's name. It ain't no probably. When you go into Martin Luther King Drive, that's not in the honor of Jake. When you go into every city in the country, when you hear about a Martin Luther King Drive, it's always ain't no Edomites living in Martin Luther King Drive. And you got to question, why is it always a Martin Luther King Drive in every city? So, you know what I mean? Because that's to say without saying, oh yeah, that's where the niggas at. So I'm gonna end it with this book, 2 Thessalonians, because at the end of the day, this devil is is being scoped, being the Lord's got his eye and got these nations getting into this devil's being exposed, and I'm about to bring it out. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 2. This man of sin is being revealed. So that's why Donald Trump is in the news, because this motherfucker, a Edomite, a red fucking devil. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. So, the end, the revealing of this devil, it's not going to come until it be a falling away first. And what does that entail? Us falling away from all laws, statutes, and commandments, it talks about in the book of Baruch that what is going on right now. It said basically in the land of the captivity, they will come back to being called the children. I gotta find it. Damn. Bear with me for a second. I believe it says something like in the land of their captivity, they'll come back to be called the children of the Most High. Because in this captivity, although we're not in chains, we're in chains. Or we're not, Salakia, those that are awake. And to be truly awake, you have to be know who your enemy is and who you are. You got these people talking about I'm awake. These motherfuckers like, they got I'm awake. You might be aware of, awake and aware is two different things. You might be aware of this government is not for your best interest, or that, what they telling you is not the truth of what they doing, but to be awake, and you a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, is to be aware of who you are as a person, one of the 12 tribes. You are Israelite, and that, this red Hebrew Edomite who is called the so-called white man is the Hebrew Edomite, and who your power is, and what's the name of your power? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Yahweh meaning he is or he exists. Ba'ashem meaning in the name. And Yahushua meaning he saves or he delivers. That's to be truly awake. Back in Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3, and it reads, that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And when you go into that word perdition, it means destruction. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called Yahweh, or God, or that is worship. It talks about in the book of Ezekiel and Isaiah about how this man exalts himself as a God. And he does think he a God. He's basically putting people in a position now. They got that guy Noah Yuval Harari saying basically we don't need no God in the sky, and just all this blasphemous shit. Like, these people literally, when you go into this whole mark, this whole charagma, they literally are trying to get you to break the covenant that we have with our power to make a covenant with this devil, because he's trying to be your savior. That's why they're basically going to come with this UBI, this universal basic income. This devil literally made the statement that we will own nothing and be happy. Well, I can't see me being happy. I'm not happy now. This fucked up ass type, freaky, deaky, cybernetic society they trying to push. You got prophecies moving so fast. You talking about Elon Musk is basically about to start demonstrating this neural chip next month. Prophecies about to start moving fast because we only got like a couple major prophecies left. You know what I mean? The mandatory implementation of this MOTB in the World War III. You know what I mean? And them ICBMs fucking this place up. It says, verse 4, who opposes himself and exalt himself above all that is called Yahweh, or that is worship, so that he is so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholding, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Verse 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And the spirit of his mouth are the prophets. It tells you in the book of Luke chapter 1 verse 70, it talks about as the Most High always spake through the mouth of his holy prophets. The Most High is not dealing with no ordinary individual. You know what I mean? The Most High is not really dealing with no woman, because like the Lord can use any individual. He used a donkey. He used the wicked. You know what I mean? Because everything works in tangent. You know what I mean? I was bringing that out. You got negative and positive. You got good and evil. It tells you in scriptures that the Most High God, Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 7, the Most High God creates good and evil, because everything is a balance. Verse 9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. So it's a physical man on the planet that is going to be coming in the spirit of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. And what's his power and signs and lying wonders? His technology. When you go into, where's that, Timothy, where it talks about science so-called, roughly paraphrase, his science is his religion, his pseudoscience. This man hasn't even explored and reached, obtained the depths of the sea, but this man talking about he going to outer space. I remember when I was locked up last year. Was it last year or this year? I can't remember. It might have been this year. I can't remember. But no, it was this year. Beginning of this year. making bad choices dealing with this damn demon, because I really had a demon. But anyhow, it's like her whole objective was to get me out the truth, out the children's lives, everything. But not to digress. But I remember I was locked up and I was seeing when who was that Branson, the guy that owned Virgin Mobile. I think it was him, his company, and then Bezos' company. Both was trying to basically do the space exploration shit. Send the rocket up to the sky. It might have been Bezos, but long story short, they was attempting to. And when you look at how that shit looked, like you thinking that this shit gonna be some real NASA like jet fly shit, and they was just trying to reach a certain height. You know what I mean? Like, this shit look fugazi. You know what I mean? Like, this shit is a bullshit. But you got everybody, all these people sitting around watching this shit. Like, it talks about the scriptures, cursed be the man that trusteth in man. You really, people is giving this devil power, believing in him. When this devil, like, you had a lot of people take that jump shot. Then these people mysteriously falling out. When it talks about how the Lord gonna have them in derision, it talks about the Lord gonna choose your delusions for you. So yeah, you're gonna have individuals that's gonna believe in this devil, all to be, set up to be judged, because the Lord don't want you. Verse 10, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. Verse 11, I just brought that out. That's the spirit. And for this cause, Yahweh shall send them strong delusion that they shall believe a lie. So you got 2/3 of our people that really believe that Trump give a fuck about Jake. I think Kanye corny ass was just what. Remember when Trump was running, he wanted to run with Trump and all that shit. Like I say, so of course he's being used to a degree. You know what I mean? I don't think he crazy like that. He actually, made a statement. He said he don't like it when people assume that he crazy. You know what I mean? And then, it's funny because the elder Yashua with it today. He said this guy's supposed to be a billionaire, but then he can't see his kids when he wants. It's just like, you subject to all this shit. Like, what's the point of even having, I remember being locked up. I remember when Cosby, motherfucker was like, oh, Cosby gonna get off on that because he got a nigga money don't work in the same way for you because you a nigga. You know what I mean? Like, come on, don't you realize that? Like, man, these people believe in this place so wholeheartedly, and that's why 2/3 of our people go truly have to be destroyed. So again, that's pretty much it, because I'm, just kind of rambling now. It's just, it's just so much going on. Ask the Omarosa, do you think that Trump did this shit? You know what I mean? The article said it itself. It says shit. 2 impeachments. It said, hold on. Inauguration. It say, hold on. It say Scooter has complained stringently over the years as the feds continue to do business with Trump, despite 2 impeachments, an inauguration scandal, questions over Trump's international hotel in D.C., and forced dissolution of Trump's university, and a Trump foundation by the same New York Attorney General office, now alleging he pocketed $250 million through financial fraud. Because it's loopholes for these motherfuckers to get paid. And then, like I said, come on, like, this dude still ain't been locked up. You know what I mean? Like, this dude, all his administration getting locked up. It seems like that one guy keep on getting the same amount of time. It look like they keep on recycling the same kind of fucking news for real. Like I say, so yeah, I think this devil guilty, because at the end of the day, again, the scriptures say, matter of fact, let me end with that. Say the devil, 58 and verse 3. This is the book of Psalms 58 and verse 3. The wicked are estranged. Let's look up that word estranged. Specifically, profane. When you go into the word profane, it's outside the temple. So they were already set up to be, this wicked ass seed. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So yeah, it's in their nature to be, what's the word? Liars and just wicked. It's straight to be cutthroat. It's in their nature to kill, steal, and destroy to get what they want. To be covetous. You know what I mean? When you go into the history of Alexander the Great, this motherfucker wanted to conquer the world so much that when he couldn't, when his soldiers left and refused to fight and said they was going back home, he wept. He cried This how covetous this fucking devil is. So, if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole, Indian, if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole, Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, commandments of your power. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Salaki. All praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam, La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem, Rachakadas Wakatham. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwath, as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly this is edified. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. So next time I'm able to come with another lesson, I'm going to say shalom, shalom. Shalom.